Just moments ago, we read the statement from Mark Ambrose, so his name is out. He is a deputy chief in the City of Utica Fire Department. I have to ask you, how, number one, Mark Ambrose reports this to the mayor, presenting all of these text messages. The people, and I can't understand a few things. How is it that the mayor would even focus on whether or not this was criminal, when the text messages seemed to, if you believe the text messages, which they seem authentic, if the text messages placed this young recruit, possible recruit, he'd not reached recruit status, I believe, how in the world would you even, I guess you'd want to look, is this criminal, but what does that have to do with it? It looks like all of this porn craziness, masturbation craziness, is going on inside the firehouse. Is the mayor, I have to ask this question. Clearly, Mayor Palmieri must support porn and masturbation with young people in the firehouse. Because how does he allow this guy, John Kelly, to remain in that position without putting him on administrative leave, number one, and number two, putting Mark Ambrose in the position where he has to sit in the same room and answer to this guy? I don't understand it. Can someone answer that to me? Mayor Palmieri, you owe this to the people of Utica. I don't get it. How do you put him back in the same room with this guy? Am I the only one seeing this? What the you-know-what is Palmieri thinking here? I can't even believe it.
No, you're not the only one who thinks that.
How do you put this guy back in there when his son was just involved in this? I heard somebody say the other day, well, I think the kid was a willing participant. Who cares? This is your fire chief who's allegedly doing this stuff inside the firehouse.
You're right. It's not the relationship.
It's absurd.
Whether it's a friendship or something beyond, or if anyone wants to, whatever anyone wants to say about it, it doesn't matter. Anyone can do whatever they want with anyone who's of age. But, right.
There's a time and a place.
City property.
There's a time and a place.
I can't believe, and I spoke with the mayor. It was, I don't want to say it was an off-the-record conversation. It was more of a social, it was at the press conference the other day. And he said, well, you don't know what I know. I said, honestly, I think I have more than what you know, to be honest with you. But we know one thing. So we didn't break the law. You shouldn't be looking. Is the law the only thing we have to worry about here? It's not criminal. I don't believe this was criminal. No one thought it was criminal. But this is going on in your firehouse, and you're okay with that? You support Girls Gone Wild while allegedly a firefighter who's in power is sitting across from a 22-year-old masturbating in the firehouse? That's appropriate behavior? And you endorse that? You've got to be kidding me. Because you want a second term or a third term, whatever, you want to extend your term limits, you might not make it out of this one. And I know you're listening, Mayor. What the blank are you thinking? I'm not a swearer.
No.
But to me,
you're itching, I can
but
tell.
I'm going to tell you something.
That delay ready?
There's only one word that I can think of that is applicable in asking this question. And I won't use it.
Thank you.
But for God's sakes, you got to be thinking it in your head. Every potential voter out there, anybody in the city of Utica has got to be thinking, what the blank are you thinking here? You've known this since March, and you put that father back in to have to sit there in front of the guy that allegedly brought his son into this crazy sexual, unbelievably disgusting activity inside the firehouse? How do you put that guy back through this?
Do you still have a statement there? I
do.
Surprised on the second page when you talked about the follow-up meeting. If this is true, this is what
the follow-up meeting. They have the interim chief in on his own issue. He's in there. I'll read this again. I got to find it. Why would you do this, Mayor? Why would you do this to this guy? Is it you don't like Ambrose, so this is how you treat the people you don't like? I mean, Mayor, you might not survive this one. I don't know what you're thinking here. You should have acted immediately here. Done something. You can't do it within the law. That section civil law thing that they're quoting the other day, whatever the 720A or whatever that thing is. Give me a break. It's not applicable here. That doesn't give someone carte blanche just to go into the firehouse and break rules and regulations. Masturbating to Girls Gone Wild in front of a group of kids. Are you kidding me? How do you endorse this with a straight face? How do you look in the mirror if you have children? Does he have children?
Yes, he does.
How do you look in the mirror? I just can't believe it. Even it's alleged. I get it. But I understand they're not underage.
Yeah.
They're 22, 23-year-old. They're kids. I'm sorry. A 20-year-old, 23-year-old, they're still kids. You still have an adult in the room who, by the way, is in management and should be controlling the situation, shouldn't be allowing something like this. If this stuff is true, if these text messages are real, how do you not act? I don't understand it. As a human being, as a father, how do you not act? I can't believe it.
We'll hopefully get the mayor later this week.
No, we won't. We won't. If I were him, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't talk anymore, Mayor. Because now it's too late. You haven't acted on this. Unless you have something out there that says that this is completely fabricated, that this was all made up, and the real victim here is John Kelly. Unless you have that, how do you show your face? I don't understand. Because I can't. I feel so bad if this is all true for Mark Ambrose. How does he go into that meeting without punching the guy's lights out? How would you be able to handle that? Because clearly no one said this isn't true. No one said, well, the police department. I've talked to people in law enforcement. They're like, it's not criminal.
Yeah, they're not saying it's not made up. We can't
can't
substantiate.
No, they're not saying that.
It's not criminal.
And I had one person in law enforcement that said, I don't know how John Ambrose isn't punching this guy's lights out.
Mark Ambrose.
Sorry, Mark. We see some crazy things in this world. And the way people are treated, the way people act, the things that people do. We see some crazy, crazy stuff. This one just stinking takes the cake.
You've been here 5.5 years. I've never seen you this.
It's offensive to a father. I don't care if the kid's 30 years old. It's still, that's his dad. And you're making him sit in these meetings? I don't understand. Even if the allegation hasn't been proven, wouldn't you at least offer up the decency to not have that father have to face the guy who's supposedly done this not criminal activity? And he's got to answer to him. I just don't understand. Why would you want to put any father through that?
Again, just from my perspective, on the surface, I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. The only thing I can think of where you would bring the chief back into the room is if he were to sit down and say, listen, I just want you to know this isn't true. Or I need to explain something to you. Yeah. I need to make sure we're on the same page here.
I think you've been had by your son. I think he made all this stuff up. And here's the chief, and we're just going to talk about it, that it isn't true. It's not true. But that's not being done here. No one's saying that. Police haven't said it. No one has said it. Why would you put, this is the thing that bothers me the most, why would you put the father back in the room with the person who supposedly was involved in all this? And if it's true, and it's breaking a code of conduct for the city fire department, because we've spoken with Chief Brooks, porn not allowed inside the firehouse, bringing somebody in to sit on the beds to masturbate, to pornos, that's allowed? and we're going to just look the other way, and this has been going on since March. This has been known by the city since March, and here we are coming up on the end of June, and everybody's still in place. There hasn't been anything. Meanwhile, you think you got somebody that might have masturbated on somebody's fire pants. I can't believe we're even talking about this. That one immediately went to something that was criminal, and they're going to have a tough time proving that to be criminal down the road. And his name was dragged through the mud. His family's name dragged through. This one we kept quiet. Chief Brooks, the stuff that he went through. I'm baffled at how, whether it's true or not, how you wouldn't have separated the parties as opposed to putting them back together. It's almost like you're waiting for Mark Ambrose to just lose it and just put a gigantic right hook into this guy's face. It's almost like you're waiting for that to happen, because that wouldn't end well, right? I mean, I'm maybe it's just me. Maybe we've reached a point in this world where this stuff is okay, and we shouldn't be so upset about it. And I'm not a taxpayer here, so what am I getting all worked up for? I just feel like I'm a human being who would not want to see a father have to go through that. I'm not sure I could have done it. I don't think I could have sat in the same room.
The official statement, again, from the city that we received last week was that basically discipline, there was an investigation, not criminal, and there was discipline handed down in the case. But we do not know what that was.
Here's Tim on the fire situation. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Bill. You know, this seems to be the mayor's modus operandi here. You know, he got rid of Brooks to get Kelly in there.
It does seem that way, yeah. That does seem that way.
What he done to Russ Brooks, he should be ashamed of himself. And what he's doing to this kid, he should be ashamed of himself. This he's a loose cannon. And I think down the road maybe Ambrose might get a little bit of revenge. I know if it was my son, I would.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that. I don't know how I could sit in the same room. I don't care if the kid's 24 or 25 years old. He's still your kid, and he's still impressionable, and he's dealing with somebody who's in his 40s, who's in a position of power. That's what this whole Me Too movement is built on. Thanks, Tim. Scott in Utica, you're on the radio.
Oh, hi, Bill. Listen, I just want to say real quick, the reason that you're upset about it, it doesn't have anything to do with paying taxes. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and I'm glad you're speaking out about it. And Mr. Mayor, why don't you call Bill Keeler and explain to the people in Utica what the hell is your problem? Thank you, Bill.
All right, Scott, thanks. I'll leave it at that and see where this goes tomorrow. Let's reach out to the mayor. I think people should reach out to the mayor as well. People should be asking questions here. This is your city.